With the ISIS threat looming, President Obama met with his national security team at the Pentagon this afternoon for a preview of that campaign against the terror group. Defense Secretary Ash Carter spoke with Fox's Brett Baer today to define what's being done to defeat ISIS.
You have to destroy safe havens for terrorist groups like ISIL. So they have to be destroyed and defeated in Iraq and Syria, because that's where this whole cancer started, and you got to destroy it there. But as you say, it's not enough, because it's spread to Afghanistan. It has spread to Libya. You noticed that in recent days we have begun airstrikes in support of ground forces, local ground forces in Libya, who are fighting ISIL there. We're obviously doing the same in Afghanistan, and we're going to need to do that anywhere the cancer metastasizes.
Joining us now to analyze from Washington, Sebastian Gorka, author of Defeating Jihad, The Winnable War. Dr. Gorka, it sounds, when they talk about going from 7 countries to 13 countries now to 18 countries, that's kind of defining a caliphate, is it not?
It's incredible, Eric. The list, this map that the station managed to acquire from the NCTC, it includes countries like Indonesia, the Philippines, Afghanistan. Think about that for a second. ISIS now has its own affiliate in Afghanistan. So it's not just the Taliban or Al-Qaeda. This is incredible. The narrative that they're on the ropes and we're winning has been broken by the administration itself, because they've doubled in size.
Do you believe Ash Carter's correct in saying that we need to stamp out ISIS in Syria and Iraq in order to defeat them? If they're very, you pointed out, it's like a cancer. Hasn't the cancer already spread?
Yeah, it has. This is the false wisdom of the administration, that if we just send a few more bombers, if we send a few more trainers to Iraq and Syria, then we'll win. In the last 2 months, Eric, outside of Iraq and Syria, there has been a jihadi attack every 84 hours. That's outside the war zone. Look at France, look at the UK, look at Turkey, look at Saudi Arabia. This is a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. We have a cop in D.C. yesterday caught trying to help ISIS, and then today someone over in North Carolina as well. Let me pivot a little bit, too, because I think these tie in. The $400 million payment in small bills, unmarked airplanes sent over to Iran. And Josh Earnest, the very same day that this gets exposed by Jay Solomon, the Wall Street Journal reporter, says that, yes, some of that money will end up in Hezbollah and terrorist hands. What are we doing, Dr. Gorka?
Can we just part the chaff? Let's get rid of the noise and the chatter. 2 issues, only 2 things we need to focus on. The President of the United States and the Secretary, who makes the official determination every year, have both stated recently that Iran is one of the greatest sponsors of terrorism in the world today. We gave them $400 million, and at the same time, a D.C. police officer was charged for giving $200 to a group he thought was associated with ISIS. This is material support of terrorism, number one. Secondly, this strange argument that, well, this was the Shah of Iran's money and he gave it to us in 1979 and we're just giving it back. Let's tease that out for a moment, Eric. Imagine if the Weimar Republic of the 1920s, the German Republic, had given us $1 million, and the deal went sour and it sat in U.S. banks. After 1939, when Hitler takes control and declares war, would we have been okay with giving the Weimar Republic its $1 million back now that Hitler's in charge?
I'll give you another example. If a drug dealer is caught with cash, assets, and a business, those can all be confiscated by the government. Why, when we know, and they're admitting, Josh Earnest, the White House admitting that they're dealing with terrorists in Iran, why would we give this money back? There's a case to be made that says it's not your money anymore, it's ours.
Right, and there's one last thing, and this is the most heinous of all. There are court decisions outstanding today to pay the victims and the families of victims of terrorism $43 billion because of Iranian actions, including the Beirut bombing in the 1980s. $43 billion outstanding, owed to American citizens for their suffering, and we give $400 million to Iran. How does that work?
I have no idea. I don't know what they're doing. And Jay Solomon, who was on the program just a little bit earlier, said, well, it was because Iran really wanted that money quickly. That's why they got it. They were demanding it very quickly. What grounds do they have to demand money from us?
Oh, but when they know that this is the only legacy that Obama and Kerry can point at, they knew exactly which button to press, and they knew they would get the pallets of cash. The Iranians have treated us as the weakest negotiators in the history of negotiating. They knew the administration was desperate, and that's why they got the money.
It's amazing, Doctor. The fact that we're just saying, oh, yeah, okay, small bills, euros, and an unmarked airplane. The drug dealers are shadier than that. That's shadier than some drug deals. It's incredible that we're giving it to them because you can transfer that money around without tracing anywhere of it, right? Anywhere it goes.
If you'd read this story or this episode in a Tom Clancy novel, you would have said, this is absurd. You would have said, yeah, exactly that. This is what drug dealers do. This isn't what the American Republic, the United States does. It happened. It's real.
Mm-hmm. And so now this money, does it find its way back to, just take us very quickly, about a half a minute or so.
Yeah.
We send it to Iran, it finds its way into Hezbollah and maybe others?
It will find its way to Hezbollah, okay, undoubtedly, and the IRGC, the Republican Guard.
Got to leave it right there. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thank you very much.